All right, we got the Dark Knight himself, Batman, versus Black Widow, the assassin, also as an Avenger. So, really a rundown with Bruce Wayne, Batman. They both lived tragic lives. Bruce Wayne witnessed his parents' murder. Black Widow was trained as an assassin. A great, the comic books and stuff go better than what the movies are, but I think the Batman movies captured uh, the essence of the beginning of Bruce Wayne becoming Batman, pretty much throughout the other Batman films that were made, like from when his parents died, were killed and stuff like that. Very very tragic stuff, and everybody can relate to Batman, pretty much except for the billionaire part, and he doesn't have any powers. You know, that's another thing. I think that's the reason why there have been more Batman movies than there have been any other DC character movies. Of course, we had Superman movies. They're pretty much catching up with, or maybe they're about the same number of Superman movies now than there are Batman movies. Pretty much two of the biggest names of DC. But even though this is not about Superman, but Black Widow, another character besides Batman that does not have any special powers, trained in combat. Thing is with her, she was an assassin. Batman doesn't kill. Black Widow, I believe, has killed. But that was, I believe, before she became an Avenger. So Natasha Romanoff, great stuff there. Seeing her in Iron Man 2 being portrayed by Scarlett Johansson, all the way up until the prequel standalone movie of hers, Black Widow, which is really good, by the way. I really like that. That really gives you more of the insight of the Black Widow training and stuff like that, how that all came to be, pretty much. Um, uh, you know, Between both characters, who would actually win in a fight? That's the question, because they're both skilled. Batman was trained by the League of Shadows and stuff like that. You've seen that in Batman Begins. Just some really extensive stuff there. So both characters are uh, very good at combat, hand-to-hand combat, weapons, batarangs. Black Widow. And I'm not a big time in the comics reading them. I don't. I've never read a whole bunch of them, so I'm just going off by what I've seen in the movies and stuff like that, and reading up on a little bit of the history. The thing with Black Widow, she's got those. They look like bullets. A bullet bracelet on both arms, on both wrists. Those are actually I think they're called stingers. So you do get to see those put into play. I think the most specific one, the Pacific film that you see her put those into play, was Captain America. I believe it was Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I believe. I think she did some of that's. I think she did the stingers and stuff too in the Avengers films. But of course, this is wondering who would actually win in an all-out hand-to-hand combat fight between the two of them, and it's really hard it's really hard because I'm not really much of a big DC fan. Uh, I didn't really like what they did because it was all about Batman, all about Superman, but he had other characters that they could have done films, but they waited until a couple years later to they waited until a couple years ago to do those when they had the chance to do those back in the 90s and stuff. But enough rambling on about that. But honestly, who would I think would win? It'd be a knockdown drag out fight. I can tell you that. I honestly think Black Widow would have the upper hand, and the reason why I say that is that her other skill is that she can use guns. Batman doesn't, but he does got an arsenal. He can use like batarangs and stuff like that. He can use. But when we talk about hand-to-hand combat, I honestly think, and this is my honest opinion, what makes a true hero is someone that doesn't kill, and that's what Batman has behind him. And I personally think that Batman could win a battle between him and Black Widow with regular hand-to-hand combat. But now, if it was weapons, that would be a different story. I actually would think that Black Widow would win that. But I'm going to go with my pick. And I know some of the Marvel fans might be a little ticked off, but I honestly think Batman can, beat Black Widow in a hand-to-hand fight. With further ado, that's it. That's all I got. Batman is the winner. Take care.